Good morning to all of you. Today I am going to discuss about one of the most important topic of every economic activity. If economy is considered as vehicle, human and physical capital as its wheel, then that vehicle is run on petrol or diesel in the form of finance. Yes, finance is known as the lifeline of all the economic activities, and it is called as money or simply cash in layman term. So today I am going to deliver my lecture on the concept of money and banking. In this present video, I am going to discuss the concept of money, and in later videos, I'll take up the topic of banking. Money is a part of our daily life. As you can see in the present slide, I have written that it is right up there next to air in terms of importance. Money is not necessarily means coins and currencies. If you ask somebody that what is money, the probable answer is cash or bank balance. But this is not the complete definition of money. At, at most, the alternative expressions of money. So, money is any good that is widely used and accepted in transactions which facilitates the transaction of goods and services. But the question comes, what exists before money? And the answer to this question is barter system. In olden days, goods were exchanged for goods. There was no money. Taking very recent past example, you people must heard a farm worker would get wheat or rice as a reward for his laborship. That means he was paid in kind, not in cash. There are so many examples where commodities are exchanged for commodities. This system was known as barter system. This system proved to be very inefficient system of exchange. And here I am just explaining the probable reasons. The first one is double coincidence of bonds. It is a core characteristic of barter system. Double coincidence of wants implies that at a point of time, the two individuals are in possession of such goods which they are willing to exchange for the satisfaction of their wants. But it is not always so simple. Suppose I am having a horse, right? And I want to buy a wheat, then it is not so simple to find a person who wants my horse and at the same time he was having a rice or wheat that I want to purchase. So this is one of the weakness of barter system. That is why this system remained extremely limited. Now the another problem related with the barter system is lack of common unit of value. Again, if I ask you a question, if you are having a car, could you please tell me the value of your car? You can easily answer it with the help of money. But under barter system, certainly not. Because under such a system, your car will be valued in terms of horses or cows or wheat, simply because there is no money. The third weakness of barter system is the difficulty of future payments or contractual payments. Suppose these days if you hire a worker and strike a contract to pay him rupees 10,000 per month, what do you do in a barter system? Right? At that time, you would decide to pay him in terms of tables, chairs, or in terms of rice or wheat. So contractual payments or future payments would certainly very difficult under barter system of exchange. Another difficulty is storage of value. Under barter system, saving is not possible. We can't store it. But it is possible with the help of money. I can store my money as in the form of cash at my home, and I can save it in my bank account. So it is possible because of money. As you can see here in this, I have explained the meaning of barter system, and in the next slide you can easily see that how apples are exchanged for a hen, or apples are exchanged with wheat. Are they equal in value? Certainly not. So these are some of the difficulties related with barter system. These weaknesses leads to the evolution of money or the invention of money. Now in this present slide, you can easily see how we are shifted from barter system to electronic money in present time. That means from barter system we are shifted on gold, and from gold to metallic coins, and in the present we are using paper money, plastic cards and electronic money. Plastic cards here means your credit cards, your debit cards, and electronic money, I'm sure you people are using Paytm, PhonePe, Bheem app. So this digital form of money is presently utilized, right? You must be heard about bitcoins or cryptocurrency. They are the modern forms of money. So weaknesses of barter system led to the evolution of money, right? Everybody wants money, but few can define it, because it is very difficult to define money. In this next slide, I'll take up some of the definitions of money, as money is what money does, said by Volcker. Anything which is widely accepted in payment for goods, as said by Robertson. One thing that possesses general acceptability, said by Seligman. But all these definitions are not complete in itself, because they are emphasizing only on one of the function of money. It is the definition of Crowther which is considered to be better, because it undertakes into account all the important functions of money. According to him, anything that is generally acceptable as a means of exchange and at the same time act as a measure and store of value is termed as money. So these are some of the definitions of money. Now coming to the functions, though functions of money are not a part of curriculum, but still I am explaining in a very short note. Just remember, the weaknesses of barter systems are known as the important functions of money. That means under barter system, goods are exchanged for goods, right? But with the invention of money, money act as a medium of exchange. It can be used as a store of value, it can be used as a unit of account, it can be used for making future payments. So these are the important functions of money, and all these functions are included in the definition said by Crowther. Now let us start with the concept of different forms of money. There are four categorization of money. Here you are going to understand about fiat money and fiduciary money. Fiat money, which is used by order and authority of the government. It includes all paper notes or coins which the people in a country are legally bound to accept as a medium of exchange, right? So your paper notes or coins are known as fiat money. Now coming to the fiduciary money, which is accepted as a medium of exchange because of the trust between the payer and the pay, right? And the best example are the checks. So checks are termed as fiduciary money, and your paper notes and coins are known as fiat money. Another categorization of forms of money is full-bodied money and credit money. But here you can find out the two important terms. One is money value, another is commodity value. Right? So first of all, I'll explain what do you mean by money value and commodity value. Money value refers to the value which is inscribed on a coin or written on a paper note. Suppose you will be having a coin of rupees 5 and rupees 100 as paper note. So that amount 5 and 100 is known as money value, which is inscribed on it. Coming to the commodity value refers to the value of the commodity, that is the metal that the money is made of. Suppose if a coin is made up of gold as was done in olden days, then commodity value refers to the market value of the gold contained in the coin. Right? I hope these two terms are clear to you. Now coming to the full bodied money concept and credit money concept, full bodied money is that where the commodity value and money value are equal. For example, a rupee coin during British period in India was made up of silver. At that time, the commodity value, that is the value of that metal, is exactly equal to its money value. Now coming to the credit money, it refers to that where market value is greater than commodity value. Right? For example, 100 rupees note, that 100, right, which is termed as money value, is higher than the commodity value. Here means that piece of paper. So the inscribed value 100 is greater than the value of that piece of paper. Another example of credit money is your credit cards. They are also termed as credit money. So this is another classification of forms of money. Now coming to the concept of supply of money. Money supply plays a very crucial role in the determination of price level and the rate of interest. The growth of money supply helps in the acceleration of economic development. As in the beginning, I have told you that all the economic activities are dependent on money. So if we are going to discuss about the concept of supply of money, then it is called stock concept. Right? The supply of money is a stock concept. You must learn in your second chapter about the stock and flow concept. Stock means which is measured at a particular point of time. For example, your balance in your bank account today, and flow which is measured over a period of time. Right? And supply of money is considered a stock concept. It refers to the total stock of money held by the people of the country at a point of time. So in simple terms, supply of money includes only that stock of money which is held by the people, right? Other than the suppliers of money. Now the question comes, who are the suppliers of money? It is government, banking system. So that money which is held by the government or banking system, that money is not included under the concept of supply of money because they are the suppliers of money. And in the concept of money supply, we just include the currency held by the people of the country. Right? Now coming to the measures of money supply. Generally, there are four concepts: M1, M2, M3 and M4. RBI has given 4 types of measures of money supply. But as per your syllabus, you will be having only the first one, that is M1 concept. Now, what are the components of money supply? The first one is C, that is currency, including paper money and metallic coins of all denominations held by the people of the country. Second one is DD, that is demand deposits, which includes the saving deposits with the banking sector. And the third one is other deposits. This other deposits includes demand deposits with the Reserve Bank of financial institutions like NABARD, in Industrial Finance Corporation of India, State Finance Corporation of India, etc. It also includes the demand deposit with the Reserve Bank of foreign central banks. It also includes the demand deposits of international financial organizations like International Monetary Fund and World Bank. So all this, that is currency plus demand deposits and other deposits, are the part of M1 concept of money supply. So here is all about the definition of money, its various forms, concepts and measures. I hope this video fulfill your expectations. So next, in this slide you will be having some questions related to this particular section for practice. Please go for it. Thank you.